What's going on, everybody? KD here, and welcome back to the 17th official episode of the King Darius Experience. Today, we're going to be starting with a quote. I just posted this on Instagram, and it's, "We live in a world where doing has become a strategy because most people simply don't. When it gets hard, when it gets tough, when you don't understand something, when you're not getting traction on something, we just kind of don't. Instead of doing, we don't. We think, we strategize, we talk, we ask, we buy a course, we try something, maybe once, maybe twice. You've done the social, you've done the content, you've paid for the advertising, you've been in mentorships and masterminds, right? You have access to all the information, you've read the marketing gurus, articles and listened to the podcast, and you've gotten the motivation from the social channels, and yet we still can't grow our stuff. Right? We still can't take forward-facing attention and turn it into conversations and leads and qualification and sales and drive engagement. We need to take off this blurry mask that makes everything in marketing more complicated than you talking to somebody you know, communicating to somebody you know, giving them value, context, relevance, right? Recall, understanding, psychology. These things are already behavioral daily practices in our lives, and then they become confusing, unsolvable puzzles when it comes to growing something that matters to us, right? So the reason why I wanted to start with this is because in order for you to create and grow something, you need to stop looking for these unreachable solutions that don't exist, these regurgitated frameworks from other people. That lacks context and relevance for who you are, right? A strategy, or your best strategy, is going to be found through you doing and then learning something about your own behavior, your own business, your own content, right? Your own positioning, your own products and solutions that even the smartest and most experienced guru could never tell you, because they don't have real-time context of what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, your goals and objectives, let alone who you're trying to do that for and position those things in front of, right? So you doing every day has become the caveat, or the hurdle rather, between you and where you're trying to go. It's not marketing that's not working. It's not sales and business development that's not working. It's not advertising that's not working. It's not networking and one-on-one connection that's not working. It's not brand positioning that's not working. Not product development or operations or customer retention. It's you doing it again and again when it's uncomfortable, when it's not working the same way it used to, when you need to take a second to reposition it or refashion it or enhance it or make it more efficient or optimal, right? Or reposition it, right? Or one thing we talk about in marketing all the time is repurposing something. This stands between you and the growth and traction you're trying to gain with your brand. This is why the marketing industry has all of these, cliche terms as it comes to sleazy marketing, or that's one of those, cheesy marketers again, or clickbait, or all of these things that essentially in one name tag or one phrase represents people not delivering on value, right? That clickbait article would have been dope if the reason you clicked through it was actually there when you arrived, right? It's not somebody pulling the wool over your eyes when they deliver the value for what you paid for or what you gave your information for. These cliches and these understandings that we have of marketing and advertising are only there because people didn't show up and do or provide value. So one of the things, or one of the easiest ways that you can begin to do this as a creator, is simply by understanding micro funnels. And that sounds like a challenging term potentially, or something that is industry jargon, but it's simply the process of taking somebody from initial brand contact and walking them through that path to purchase to becoming a customer, and then hopefully engaging with them and providing enough nurtured value that they become a brand advocate, right? This whole process can be done through what we refer to as a micro funnel. So all of that forward-facing attention that, you're either working on and or ignoring, depending on who you are, what you've tried, all of that social, all of that content, all of the different forms of media, audio, textual, visual, right? Sometimes advertising, sometimes influencer marketing, sometimes affiliate stuff, all of that top line, top funnel, attention that you're trying to acquire needs to come down to a siloed, focused landing experience, right? And that landing experience becomes the host of your transaction, right? And that transaction is between value in whatever you're trying to acquire from them. It could be just their information if you're trying to slowly ease into it. It could be, a monetary thing, like something they have to pay for if you're trying to do a little bit more direct response. But that's where you're trying to get them to from all this forward-facing attention. Then on the thank you page or the confirmation, which again, stop paying attention to the jargon and the fancy marketing words and go back to reality, right? If you bought a pair of shoes online, the latest drop, and you didn't get your confirmation number, everybody would freak out. If you ordered a package from Amazon and UPS or USPS didn't deliver it, everybody would freak out. We rely on confirmation dialogues every single day of our life. But then when it comes to marketing, we're like, what should we say and do to somebody after they purchase from us or give us their information? I have no idea. Well, what would you expect if you bought something or if you gave your information to somebody? Would you want to know that you literally just did that action? Would you be open to potentially more if they put that offer in front of your face, since you already behaviorally said, yes, I'm going to buy that thing or give my information for that thing? So I already have equity with this person. If they put someone else, I may not say yes, but I'm open to the idea, right? You're not gonna be offended. You're not gonna be turned off by that. You're not going to look at the brand a certain way. You're just either going to say, yeah, that's for me, or no. So, right. So on this thank you page in this confirmation lies your ability to also put forth your first offer. And a lot of times we refer to this in marketing as the tripwire, right? It's a thing that causes the magical transaction of pulling out a wallet for a lower cost product, inversely to your core products, right? So that lower cost product is going to be different for everybody. What is a tripwire product for somebody in the healthcare technology, industries or whatever is going to be completely different from a tripwire of somebody who's just an online, marketer or, does information products or just sells e-commerce stuff or whatever. It's all contextual to the size and pricing and stage of your business. However, the concept is whatever your core product is, how can you package some type of value that's valuable enough to pull out your wallet, but not, too much to where it would, justify prices that your core product or some of your higher price premium, content products and solutions live at. So again, forward-facing attention, landing experience where your transaction is hosted, confirmation dialogues, and then guess what? You go back to your ability to communicate with somebody through the only channels in which you have their information, which is most likely email, unless you've done some type of messaging campaign or you're trying to retarget people through, advertising where you've cookied or, tracked their engagement on that page and are putting more videos through like Facebook advertising or something like that in front of their face. But 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be you have their email or their information to communicate with them. And again, don't start making it complicated, demystify it. It's no different than when you were talking to them at the top of the funnel. The only difference is now is it's actually easier because they've already either given you their information or bought into something that cost them their own money, which means they must trust your brand. So your job is actually to communicate with them after they take those actions and highlight the point that it's more important than getting their attention in the first place, right? This is deep engagement. This is vertical growth. This is you going deep with your customers so that way you can grow wider, because the entire point of you creating a product, solution, service, what have you online or offline, is so that way you can create enough value that, people pay you for that. You're rewarded for it. It gives you freedom to be who you are and create more value in product solutions, whatever. But ultimately that whatever the successful version of that is, that other people become the mouthpiece for the thing that you're doing. Right? Because then therein lies freedom and exponential growth when you're not the only one singing your praises. So going back to that concept of, clickbait doesn't exist and sleazy marketing doesn't exist and people aren't going to get tired or people get tired of, you just talking about your own stuff. That doesn't happen if your top line's full of value, and then after somebody takes an action that you put in front of their face, you deliver on that value. That being said, this has been episode 17 of the King Darius Experience, and we're going to continue to build on these concepts so that way you guys can, be awakened and empowered to your ability to grow a thing and experience freedom in your ability to create and be rewarded for the things that you're creating. See you in episode 18 of the King Darius Experience. Peace. I'm making the list, I'm checking it once. I'm making the shift, I'm stacking the funds. You watching your back, you putting no fronts. I don't need a plaque to tell me I won. I know that I won. Niggas ain't got like this. Y'all still dealing with the king. Y'all ain't ready for the prince. Niggas ain't got like this. Just hop back in the ring. Y'all y'all ain't ready for the hits.